Okay, this is where we left it last time. Now we want to add an item loader. And what is this item loader supposed to do? So you see here that right now we have this pound sign here. Now I think I said earlier that this is because the pound sign is not a Unicode sign. The opposite is true. So this is a Unicode sign, which is why this CSV file here has trouble showing it. Normally puts this extra A here in front of it. Still, this is just a single character. However, we want to get rid of this and just want to keep the numerical part. Then for the rating, we just scraped the whole class last time, but we want to get rid of this star rating at the beginning here. And then the title is good. We're just going to leave that as it is. All right, so we want to add an item loader. In order to do that, we're going to create a new file here. So ItemLoaders with s.py, and then we open it. It's obviously currently empty. So the first thing we do is we import the processors. So from ItemLoaders.processor, we import take first, which just takes the first element of a list, identity, which doesn't change, the input, then compose, which allows us to run functions on the full list, map compose, which allows us to run functions on each element of the list, and then finally join, which allows us to join the elements of a list. So even though we're not going to use all of them, we just make them available with this import. And then additionally, from the Scrapy loader, we're importing the class ItemLoader. All right, now we need to create a class book item loader so that it runs on the book item, and it's an instance of an item loader. And for now, we're just going to leave this empty. Right, so and now we need to change what we're doing in our spider. So the first thing we need to do is we need to import this item loader. So from bookscraper.itemLoaders, we're importing the book item loader. And now we need to make a few changes. So instead here of assigning the book item class to the book item variable, we're just going to assign the book item loader class with the arguments item, book item, and selector book, which is the one that comes here from our loop. All right, so next thing we have to change is we need to change how we use our CSS here. So right now we're assigning it directly to an item field, but now we're going to use an input processor. So we have three options here: add CSS, add XPath, and add value. However, we're going to use CSS because that's what we're using so far. So first argument is the field name and then the CSS. Same for price. And then also for rating. There we go. And then finally, instead of yielding the book item, we're going to call the load item method. Now this is making use of an output processor, and even though we're not going to use an output processor, we just again make this available if we want to do so later. All right, so that's all the changes we need to make to the spider. Now let's go back to the item loader. Let's first assign a default output processor. Default output processor, and we're just going to use identity, so we're not going to change anything here. And then we're going to define input processors for our title in. So the title was already fine, so we're just going to take first here. So why take first and not identity? Because these methods here always return lists, and even though this list only contains a single item, we still have to treat it as a list. Then for price, we want to actually run something on the price. We want to remove the first letter here, the pound sign. So we're going to make use of a lambda function. So first we're just taking the first element of the list that is passed on, and then we're slicing this string here that is passed on and just take the first letter out. And then finally for the rating, so remember here we had the full class, the dual classes here, the star rating, and then the part that we actually want to keep. So we just want to get rid of the star rating here at the beginning. And we're going to do this again by running a function on the input. So lambda function, again we're going to just take the first element that comes to us, and then we're going to split it and just take the last element of the split, which is then going to be the 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Alright, so that looks good. Let's save it, and yeah, it should be ready to run. So let's run our spider once more. There we go, and see what has changed here. So you can see now the pound sign is gone from the price. The rating now is just 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and the title has remained unchanged. Alright, so that's how we use item loaders, and the next step we want to take is to introduce a pipeline.